a lot of people were speculating when Ausar Thompson is going to get cleared. Well, he got cleared by the NBA. I want to say it's like competition panel. I probably butchered that. But what did you guys kind of think of when you saw this news, and what are you looking forward to when Ausar does eventually get cleared to, compete in Pistons basketball games again?
I was happy to see him get cleared. Kind of like you, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I honestly thought we would be waiting for much longer. I mean, Asar has already been out for a pretty long time if you count in the off season, and we all expected him to be ready for the start of the season, and then had to get through the player panel and everything like that. So I was happy to see him get cleared. I mean, since he's got cleared, he's missed a few games, which I think is to be expected. I'm excited to see him get back in the lineup. I mean, I'm not really sure when that will be, but I'm super excited to see how he's used. I'm assuming JB will ease him into the rotation. Me and Wes were talking about this on our show the other night, about like he probably could be the backup power forward. And if he is in the starting lineup, it's probably at the expense of Tim Hardaway Jr. when he's back and healthy, who's played really well so far. So I'm interested to see how JB uses him. But more specifically, like, where do those minutes come from? Maybe a mix of Ron Holland and Simone Fontecchio, because you definitely don't want to fully take Ron Holland out of the rotation after what he's done. But bringing back an athlete like a SAR defender, we don't know what his shot looks like, where he's made improvements with his handle. So I'm just excited to see those things. I mean, don't know when it's going to happen, but at least we know it's going to happen soon. And obviously the health scare is all good, which we thought was the case, but it's definitely exciting to know that for sure.
Yeah, I think exciting is the word I'd have picked too. I saw it. I was pretty pumped. I think I retweeted it like within seconds. I was just real excited. Ausar Thompson's fun to watch play basketball, right? I mean, for all the challenges that he brings with the jump shot, with the pairing with Duran, all the potential problems and, things that JB Bickerstaff is going to have to figure out. At the end of the day, he's an incredible athlete. He's an amazing defender, and he makes really fun and entertaining things happen while he's on the basketball court. So, like at the end of the day, I am just very excited to watch Ausar Thompson play basketball again. And I think the only thing I'd really add that's of any substance was that I was under the impression during that kind of competition committee process that he was already on his own doing NBA level workouts, right? But it doesn't seem like that was the case. He did an interview. Blake, you mentioned it. We talked about this on our show the other day, but he did an interview with the beat reporter pool after a practice, and they all made note that that was the hardest practice he had done, and that they're actually trying to now legitimately ramp him back up conditioning wise. So it's just, maybe something to keep in mind with skill development type stuff. If he really was limited on what he could do cardio wise over the offseason, he may not have been able to take a leap as a shooter or as a finisher, things like that. He could have improved in other ways. I think noticeably he's bigger, right? He looks stronger. Mm-hmm. That's something you could do without really pushing it cardio wise. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. And that was something that was surprising to me afterwards. I was kind of under the impression he'd get cleared and then, okay, get 1 or 2 practices in and he's good to go. But kind of looks like it might be a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think the first picture I saw in Summer League, I thought he grew because he was standing next to Cade during Summer League, and it looked like he grew an inch or two. I was like, okay, it looks like he grew a little bit. And like to your point, Wes, he looks like more bulky. Looks like he's kind of like been lifting weights. There was one thing.
Chest and shoulders. The dude's just jacked right
he
now.
looks like a fullback, man. He's huge. One thing, maybe I'm reading too much into it. The Pistons did post a full interview with Ausar, and I want to give a shout out to Cody Davis because he asked Ausar, is your return date in January against your brother? And I've seen a lot of speculation of with people saying he's not coming back until January, February. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because I believe it was Christian Coloco. It took him about a month to come back after he got cleared. So maybe we have to wait until December, maybe January at the latest to, see him back on the basketball court.
Yeah, I know Coloco was out for like a year plus, and I think there were talks that like maybe he wouldn't even be able to play basketball again. So super scary health situation for both of them. So yeah, overall, I'm just excited that Ausar got cleared fairly quickly, and it seems like things are going to plan. Although we in the public space just might have not known what was going on behind the scenes, which is totally okay. Yeah, I wonder how long it'll take for him to at least like what I'm looking for, I guess, is just for the Pistons to release a injury report where he's doubtful or questionable, so that way we know that he's getting close to it, and then if it's that game or the game after, he'll probably be good to go at that point. But yeah, overall happy that at least we got the announcement that he was cleared when he was, because I feel like these things can take a while, as they should.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't think he's played his twin yet, right? They missed each other because Amen was injured in summer league, and then he was still injured the first time I think the Pistons played the Rockets last year, and then I think Ausar might have missed the second. Right? Am I misremembering? I don't think they've actually played each other yet.
I think they played last year in Houston, but he was out in the Detroit game, if I remember correctly. Because I do remember
okay. No, that's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right.
Because I do remember James doing like a really huge piece with their older brother Troy Thompson. And then like Bally.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah.
Shout out to Troy, man. Troy's a cool dude. But yeah, I'm really excited to see him come back. The one thing I've missed about him, probably the most, and maybe I'm just a nerd, like I miss his cutting. Like not a lot of players on this team cut the way that he could cut. His rebounding, I think, will be really crucial. And the fact that they're top 10 in defensive rating without him just blows my mind.
Yeah, how is that? How does that happen? I mean, it's so nice that like the team is playing the way that they have been without him, because in some of those early losses, when you get out to a slow start, it was just like this team is missing an Ausar Thompson so badly, and it's not a type of player that a lot of teams have in the gate that are ready to come out eventually. So I'm excited to see him come back overall. Like you mentioned, he'll help out with rebounding. I'm excited to see how he has grown as a playmaker, which he's already good at, just needs to help improve the handle and everything a bit more. And the shot, obviously a huge talking point and unknown. I doubt it's going to be anything close to like league average or anything like that. But I mean, below average would be pretty good. And yeah, the conclusion that Wes and I came to when we were talking through it was like, Ausar is going to take some time just because of everything that happened, which is okay because of how the team has been playing right now without him.
Sorry, screwing with the mute button there. You'd think I'm a vet that I'd understand how that dang mute button works, but clearly I don't. I was just gonna say to your defensive question, that was something that I'd been looking into a little bit too, just because I take notes during the games, and I take so many notes of missed assignments and bad help or just terrible gambles that various players are making. And so it was shocking to me too, like how on earth could they possibly have a good defensive rating? It's because they play the 5th slowest pace in the NBA, and they are top 10 in defensive rebounding percentage. That's what's happening here. They're holding other teams to less possessions. So in terms of like actually scoring per possession, I think probably other teams are doing all right. That's probably closer to average or maybe below average if they could make a stat out of that. But because they play so dang slow and they've got very good defensive rebounders, it's kind of like, well, even if you do score on a bunch of your possessions, you're not going to score a lot.